Welcome everyone to the first episode of Lavender Fields Flop, the show where we make the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is Ethan, and this is my mom, Michelle, my co-host.
Yes, co-host. And I'm Michelle, my co-host Ethan.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we are doing this podcast because I had an idea 6 months ago to do a podcast for our customers. So we're a lavender farm that started in, well, we bought the farm in 2020, but we started it in 2021. And since then, we have a nursery business where we sell our plants. And I'm asked the same questions over and over by different customers. And so I told Ethan, I said, hey, we need to just start a podcast to teach people what we do. And then we started talking about the fact that a lot of what we do is because of the things we've messed up on.
We learn by error.
Yes.
That's what we learn by.
Yeah. And so then Ethan said, hey, we should call it Lavender Fields Flop. And I kind of laughed, but then the more I thought about it, I thought, you know what, that's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Just for context, our farm is Lavender Fields Farm.
Yes.
So that's why it's Lavender Fields Flop. Our farm is built on flops.
It is.
Failures after failures. And that's what this podcast is for.
That's right. And it's also about those failures and flops, but at the end of it, there's faith. And so for us, it's sharing our perspective of how we persevere through. And on the other side of one of the flops, we're able to see God's hand in whatever flop that was. And we feel like we wanted to share that. We want to share that with people. So it's not just for the farm per se.
Yeah.
I mean, I have customers lined up that are ready to be on our show to share their experiences because we all mess up. And like I've heard about social media before, you only see the pretty stuff on social media, and we're not pretty.
Nope.
And
nobody is.
That's
I think
right.
that's important. Everybody tries to put on this charade
Right.
that their life is perfect.
Right.
Well, not everyone, but a lot of social media influencers. And we just want to sort of bring some light to that.
Yeah.
Of it's not.
That's right.
And
so
there's a lot of failures.
There are a lot of failures. And, so I'm also a teacher. And I always tell my students that you only fail when you give up. But then I guess there's a side to it that sometimes you have to know when to give up. But we never gave up on the farm, even though it looked pretty bleak there for a while. And so we are where we are today because we persevered through those trials. And like I said, we'll have customers sharing their experiences, for those who are not just lavender farmers, but starting their own business.
Or just in life. I mean, that's our hope is down the road to have just people share their experiences of flops, failures. Because it's important to remember that we're not defined by our failures. We're defined on how we get up after our failures.
That's right.
And it's just an important thing.
Right. So we just wanted to take this episode to just introduce ourselves so you know who we are, where we've come from, and why we are the experts on failure. Right?
That's what we are.
That's what we are. We need hats. Failure expert.
Like an arrow pointing down.
That's right. No, one pointing at you.
At each other.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But, and so the reason that I suggested doing a podcast is because we sort of, in a roundabout way, did a podcast when you were in the radio program a few years ago.
Yeah. I'll talk a little bit about me.
Okay.
So I graduated from high school and started out in a 4-year college to be a psychologist. And that did not work. It was the English class, actually, that I went into where the teacher said, and I quote, on the PowerPoint slide, it said, how to use a period.
And this was freshman English.
College freshman, like English 101.
Right.
And it was just that day, I was like, nope, we're done. I can't take any more school.
Yeah.
So didn't really know what to do. I didn't just drop out. But we found a radio program that we thought, it'd be sort of interesting. I've always liked using my voice, and me and my sister would make videos when we were little, and not that radio is video, but just I liked that acting part of it.
You enjoy making people laugh.
I
And
also enjoy talking to people.
right. And you would have been a good psychologist, but that uh, 4-year college isn't for everybody,
Yeah.
and you can do that same thing by doing this.
You
And
sure
I
can.
just want to insert here that Ethan's experience with entertaining people was not just his sister. So I was his teacher
Oh no.
his first grade year, and uh, one of his incentives in class was that at the end of the day, if he had, I don't know, gotten so many smiley faces, I don't know what it was.
I don't know. And just so we're aware for this story is this is not homeschool.
Right. Oh,
This
yes.
this is a whole bunch of other kids, and
Correct. Thank you for clarifying that.
it's hard to listen. Like, this is so cringe. But
I'm
continue.
sorry.
No, continue. I was flopping from a young age.
That's true. That's true. Apparently I was too. So at the end of the day, he got to have the Ethan show for the last 5 minutes of the day because and I came up with this, logical consequences and logical rewards and all of that. I thought, well, you know what? He's being funny in class. So let's give him an opportunity to be funny. So yeah, like he said, there was 15, 20 kids in this class and
who didn't get to put on a show.
on a show. I mean, that wasn't bias or anything.
No, of course not.
Failure. And yeah, so he had the Ethan show.
And was usually a train wreck.
I wasn't going to say that, but since you brought it
was-
up,
Like, I would just get up front, and it was just super awkward. Like, I didn't want to be up there once I got up there, and I would be like, why is the chicken cross the road?
yeah. Oh, you remember? Yes, you would tell
And-
chicken. You would, yeah, and it really wasn't.
And no one would laugh, and
Yeah.
everyone would just stare at me, and they'd wonder why don't I get to do this, and
Yeah. So
maybe not.
there's some
But I don't
background.
know.
I don't know. So there's some background of the talent
I don't know about
Ethan has for being on the air. It's the Ethan show.
I don't know about talent. It was
But yeah,
talentless, but
So that's kind of what led us in the direction of, hey, let's try the radio program.
yeah. So I, through a lot of prayer and
Mhm.
sort of miracles that we saw pointing to it,
Yeah.
we saw God's hand a lot for me to do the radio program, and started. It was pretty great. I liked it. Worked my way through it, and I got to a point where I had to I think it was like a group project. I had to collaborate with someone else for a project
Right.
in the program.
Right.
And it was a podcast.
That's right. That's right.
And me and you did a podcast where you laid on my bed and I sat in my chair, and we called it the Relatable Podcast.
Yeah.
It was my instructor said he liked it, but I think he was getting paid to say that.
No, I mean, people really liked it, but I have to.
People meaning what? My dad?
Yeah.
Your husband? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Who else? My sister?
Your grandparents, they liked it. Your
Yeah,
uncle,
people.
people. No, you sent it to some friends and they liked it. But here's the thing that Ethan and I, this is our one of our talents.
Self-deprecation.
Is that, well, other than that, is that when we start something, we don't just like, here, let me take this class and buy a $10 mic at Walmart. No, I gotta go spend
$450 on the mic and more on the preamp, and there's a lot of equipment. If you're not aware with the audio file world, it is quite an expensive, and there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But we thought, you know what, this is your career, right? You're gonna go into
Yep.
this field. And Ethan said, you know what, I want to buy this because if I'm gonna go into this field, I need to have my
The best of
equipment.
the best.
That's
which
right.
Isn't. But
That's right.
I
But
and I was given a mic too with the program. Like,
right,
I paid X amount for the course.
right,
Not cheap.
right.
But
Cheaper
they
than a
gave me a
four-year
mic
college.
that was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But I wasn't content with that.
So
Because I had to be the best and had to have the best, but then didn't do any settings at all for it and just used it out of the box. So
yeah, to be fair, like I said, we don't
it's all or
start out-
nothing. There's no black or white.
That's right.
Wait,
and you're here for
There's
the
no
ride.
gray. It's only black or white.
Yeah, I don't
think.
know. But you're here on the ride because we're just going for it because that's what we do.
Yep.
But we did this podcast and we ended up just having fun, and we realized that the best way to do it was just to sit down and have a topic and talk. And it allowed us to be real. It allowed us to be relatable. That's how we came up with it. And
I guess you could that's sort of what this is. I mean, yes, we're
Yeah.
targeting more about flops, but this is sort of what it was. It
Yeah.
was just us talking about.
And so you finished the program and applied for some jobs and never heard back.
No one would
and
hire me.
So we just
The
thought
radio program everyone sort of ghosted me.
after you finished.
Mm-hmm.
And so for 3 years now, we've just kind of thought, well, that was a flop. I don't think we've ever said it, but we're just kind of like, what was that?
Yeah, what was that for? We felt like God's hand was on it 100%, even after, but it didn't make sense.
Right. So we just, I don't know, we just kind of ignored it. Just one of those things that,
it's easier to just act like it didn't happen almost. I don't know. Like it happened, but we didn't want to.
Right.
It was a touchy subject.
It was. But I remember sharing with you that you never know what God's preparing you for now for the future. Just like Moses in the wilderness with, 40 years wandering around taking care of sheep. And then God used him to hurt people.
Doing that, yeah.
And I'm sure
40
he
years
said,
is a long time. You're just sitting.
Yeah. And so 3 years later, here we are at Lavender Fields Farm. And
quick side note, I do want to just shout out. Not everyone.
Ooh, a shout out. Our first shout out. What is it? It's like,
no.
Okay, sorry. Like we're professional now.
Okay. Not everyone didn't contact back to me.
Oh.
My instructor did. So Craig, if you're listening to this,
shout
I'm
out
not going to say last names, but
you probably don't even remember it, but
I do.
Look at you.
But yes, I do.
All right.
And he didn't. He checked in.
Yeah, he did. You're right. And
I think he saw a promise in me, but for whatever reason, I could not get hired. But continue the story.
We know now. And so you came on to the farm. 3 years later, you're still here. You've grown the farm. We would not be where we are without you and your willpower, your power. Your willpower. And again, sometimes that jump in, give it your all at the beginning is good. And he did. He jumped into the farm. But anyway, that's for another time.
That's how I ended up being here. We after the radio program, we said, I'm going to be here 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's 3 years.
3 years.
3 years later.
3 years.
Still here, and don't plan on leaving.
That's a good thing. Because we have too much lavender now for me to do it by myself.
We're too far gone.
That's right. So speaking of years, I'm a teacher. And I started the farm in the middle of COVID
that was a good idea.
Yeah, it was. But I just felt like I was just done in the classroom and I just couldn't wait till I retired.
But you weren't close to retirement.
No, at that time I was 47. So I just decided I was going to not teach anymore and start a lavender farm. Like I said, I couldn't just keep my job and start a
hobby
little
farm,
garden,
like a normal person.
farm, and do a test plot. Like a ton of our customers will call me and say, "Yeah, last year I did a test plot."
Or buy a couple lavender plants.
But no, we put in hundreds of lavender plants. Quit my job. That's another story. God provided an online job for me. It's a blessing. So I am teaching, but I get to teach from home now, and we have. I don't know if I said this or not, but we have customers that buy our plants because we have a nursery side of the business. And I have customers that ask me a lot of the same questions about what do you do about irrigation? What do you do about row covers? What do you do in the winter?
Propagation.
Yes.
A lot of things.
So I told Ethan this summer, I said, you know what? We should do a podcast and we should address these questions for our customers. And that's kind of where I left it. And Ethan was like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, this is not, why just make a Q&A sheet at that point?
Yeah, don't want to do this. And then he comes to me a couple of days later and he said, I have a name for the podcast.
Yeah.
And it was
Lavender Fields Flop.
And I thought, that's not what I was thinking. But then it grew on me. And through that, we figured out that we want to share our flops, our failures, and our faith. And that we will talk about God in this, and we will share what he's done for us and the hope that we have, even in flops that are still going.
Yeah, because, flops mean nothing if you don't learn from them.
Right. So
and we're not perfect. There's definitely been flops that we haven't learned from.
That's right. We keep flopping on the same thing. But and I have some customers that have already said, that are lavender farmers as well, that have said, I would love to be on your podcast and share what we did wrong. So we have customers lined up to share their stories. And we're hoping that other people that aren't lavender farmers and that aren't business people that just started a small business that want to share their failures and their faith and maybe even failure and saying, how do I have faith in this? Because I say that to you all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm his mama. Like I brought him up with the Bible and all of this. And I've gone to him before and said, I don't know. I just don't trust God anymore. How can I trust God with this? And, you know, luckily I raised you with the Bible because you were able to come back with me to me and,
Yeah.
and
Well,
bring my head back.
And it's
to,
vice versa too, because
Right.
there's times where, I struggle and we seem to go to each other.
Yeah. And so we're hoping, maybe somebody out there that's listening to this is saying, yeah, I have this big flop and I don't know what it's for. And to share your story.
Yeah. It's not just for farmers. Like, this is, we turned it sort of into everyone.
Yeah.
For everyone, a podcast where people can just, share their failures.
Yeah.
And
have hope.
Yeah.
Because if you
give
don't
others
have
hope too.
Yeah, because
that you're not alone in it. Like sometimes you can feel like you're just the only person on earth because you're in your little world.
Yeah.
Especially us. We don't leave the farm.
That's right. We don't.
We don't do much off the farm. And it can just sort of feel like this is our world, but there's millions and millions of people out there in the same situation.
Right.
And why not help them as well?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's kind of where we're at. And we already have a flop prepared for
we have many flops prepared.
We have our newest. Like we were going to start with our row covers because that one is like, we could have multiple episodes on the row covers that we cover our lavender in the winter, but we have a fresh right out of the floppy mess. I don't know.
The floppy mess?
The floppy mess that we are going to be talking about. And it was just getting our equipment for this podcast. Yes.
Yeah, nothing can be easy here.
Well, I mean, no. And Ethan had this beautiful mic. Well, I think it was that one. And he has 3 other mics, but he wants it to sound good. So we needed to get more equipment. And so from that, there was a flop.
There was a flop.
Yeah. And I think we were calling it the Great San Francisco microphone flop, something like that. So it has to do with Facebook Marketplace. What was that? Venmo? Was it Venmo you used?
It was Venmo. And maybe by the time we record it next week, it'll be the San Francisco Police.
Maybe so. Yeah. Because, we don't do anything in a small way. So,
well, it's sort of gotten there.
It has gotten
there.
We
will dive into that more.
Criminal activity. You never know what you're going to hear on Lavender Fields Flop.
Nope.
So stay tuned for our next podcast where we share with you our flop, and it's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah. Well,
investigation. Yeah, I don't know. That sounded good. But so I mean, maybe you have some experience with Marketplace and Venmo and being scammed. I don't want to give too much away, but it's the kind of thing that I always thought, it happens to everybody else. I mean, I use Marketplace all the time, but that's local. So, I guess we should say where we're from.
Michigan.
Berrien Springs, Michigan. Southwest corner of Michigan. Yeah.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah. But little lavender farm there. It's beautiful.
Lavender Fields Farm.
Where we make the flops. That didn't sound right. Not a very good tagline. Just ignore that. All right. So eventually we want to have a number
other people
call in and share their ideas or thoughts.
Or write in or
Yeah. Right. Should we give an email address? Yeah, let's do that.
Why not?
All right. We can just do the farm one.
Yeah.
Okay. Get ready because it's kind of long.
Well, editor can put it on the screen.
Oh, that's right. We have an editor?
Yes, you knew that.
Awesome. I do feel professional. Yes, we do have a professional editor.
Well, not everyone's going to be watching it on YouTube, so we do need to say it as well.
Thanks to Malachi. Second shout out in one show. We're just our first show and we have 2 shout outs. Shout out to Malachi for being our editor. And anyways, our email address is info info at the Lavender Fields with an S farm.com. Floral Lavender One Farm. But we'll get that on the screen for you.
And pretty soon here, we'll get a phone number as well.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, feel free to email and say, hey, yes, I have had an experience with that. And here's what happened. Because I think it's happened to a lot of us. And
No flop is too big or too small for the show.
nice. Did you just come up with that?
Uh,
I like that. I like that. All right. Well, we're hoping to record once a week or release once a week.
Yeah, right now it might be more,
Yeah.
depending on how
You know
this
what?
grows.
It will probably be more because we don't do anything in moderation.
Nope.
Nope.
We'll probably burn ourselves out in 2 months and then
No,
never
we
record
won't.
again. I'm just kidding.
No, because then this would be a flop, and we can't have Lavender Fields flop, right? Because two
Then
negatives.
it'd just be Lavender
equal
Fields.
That's right. Two negatives equal a positive.
Lavender Fields
Lavender Fields.
flop.
Lavender Fields flop squared.
There you go.
Yes, but we're not going to have that.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to our first ever episode of Lavender Fields Flop. And always remember, lavender grows best on rocky soil.
That's right. Does it?
That's what you said.